didn't want any kids, and now all of a sudden you want kids?
What the What? No.
Would you believe it? Sumit finally grew a backbone after weeks of secrecy, going around and telling his friends and family that he was going to have kids. He's finally plucked up the courage to share his plans with his wife. But the problem is, Jenny is absolutely not on board.
If I ever heard from your mouth that you wanted to have kids later on in your future, this relationship would have never continued.
It looks like their relationship might be on the brink of collapse.
If this is what Sumit wants his future to look like, then I don't really want to be part of it.
The truth is, considering all of the secrets that they keep from each other, their issues run much deeper than just Sumit wanting kids. So let's rewind back to the start of this episode. We join them in the middle of their family meeting. As you'll recall from the last episode, without discussing it with Sumit, Jenny has just dropped the bombshell that they're considering moving to America.
See, the thing is, I just don't want to keep upsetting the family. And if he's with me in America, we would both be accepted.
This is effectively Jenny's last roll of the dice. She's hoping that the risk of losing Sumit will scare Sumit's family into maybe accepting her. But her plan massively backfires. Not only does it catch her husband off guard, which is a huge issue, we'll come to that shortly, but it also doesn't have the impact she was hoping for from Sumit's dad.
But it doesn't change the mindset of my wife and myself.
Two things stand out for me from that clip. Firstly, Jenny's shake of the head implies that she was hoping that this would work. She can't believe it hasn't.
Was that the reaction that I was expecting? No.
But we can also see just how difficult that was for Sumit's dad. At one point, it seems like he's struggling to keep his composure, like he might be about to cry. But ultimately, as hard as it might be, Sumit's dad is not about to give in to Jenny's threat.
Doesn't change. You can leave.
To the camera crew, he reveals he doesn't think this relationship will last. If Sumit goes, it won't be long before the marriage breaks down and he'll come running back.
This relationship will not going to last. It will be finished within 1 or 2 years. Let them go. He'll come back.
Now, a visibly shaken Sumit asks his dad, is there anything at all that we can do to get your support?
I think no.
Ultimately, the age gap and the fact that Sumit won't be able to have kids with Jenny is something they'll never be able to get past. Kids, says Sumit's dad, are essential.
And the life is nothing without kids, I think. The kids are the hook for completing the family.
Hearing the conversation turn to kids scares Sumit. You see, the last time he met with his family, Sumit promised his aunt that he and Jenny would have children. The problem is, he hasn't yet told Jenny about his plans. Now he's worried his brother and sister-in-law might bring that back up. That would be very embarrassing.
I'm very nervous. I'm scared that they will say something right here.
In the end, his brother and sister-in-law don't bring it up, but the fear that Sumit feels is enough to finally convince him that he has to actually tell Jenny. But with that being said, just listen to the reason why Sumit wants a child.
I'm going to have to tell Jenny about it very soon. Because if I inform my parents that I'm planning to have kids, they might accept Jenny as a part of the family.
In other words, his twisted logic is that by adopting an innocent child, he'll be able to use that as a bargaining chip to win back his parents' love, to finally get them to accept Jenny. I don't know what planet he lives on, but that seems like an all-round terrible idea. Especially as Sumit's mum is only willing to accept one thing.
She wants a separation from Jenny.
Hearing Sumit's dad talk about divorce in such a blunt, emotionless way has an impact on Christina. Although her reasoning, as valid as it is, sounds deeply personal. It sounds as if it's bringing back memories for her. Remember, Jenny had a very tough time accepting Christina as gay.
It's heartbreaking for someone to beg with the people they love, just to love them and let them be who they are.
Ultimately, Christina's hopes that she may be able to broker some kind of truce with this meeting just haven't materialised. If anything, the only thing that now seems certain, at least in Jenny's mind, is that they'll need to leave India.
I mean, it's sad, but now my case for moving to America is stronger than ever.
But that brings us onto the next big problem. Sumit has no intention of going anywhere. When we join them the next day at an ancient palace, Sumit reveals he's worried that last night's meeting might give Jenny the wrong idea.
Now I'm a bit nervous because this is gonna give Jenny the green light for moving to America.
And right on cue, Christina, shortly followed by her mum, both bring up the topic of Sumit getting his green card.
Your family still didn't accept my mother. I think now, after 10 years, it's time for you to come to the US.
Now, being confronted like this by Jenny's daughter forces Sumit to justify his thinking. In the past, he's told Jenny that he doesn't want to go to America. His argument has always been that he wants to try and get his parents to accept her. But now that there's a bigger audience, more people demanding answers, and now that they've all heard it firsthand, straight from the horse's mouth, directly from Sumit's dad, that his family will never accept Jenny, Sumit is forced to explain why he's so opposed to moving to America.
When I think about moving to America, first I was thinking about maybe I won't be able to adjust over there.
Jenny and Christina both shoot down that objection. Their argument is that Jenny moved to India for him, so he should be willing to move to America for her. Now, I'd argue that it is slightly different for Jenny because he'd need to adapt more to American life than she has to Indian life. For example, presumably he'd need to go out and get a job, something Jenny hasn't had to do. But the way that Jenny sees it, the issue is very simple.
I'm a 64-year-old grandmother who's risked everything to come to India to be with the man that I love because the love was bigger than the fear. And Sumit needs to prove that he can do the same for me.
And that's when Jenny reveals that she contacted an immigration lawyer behind his back to discuss bringing him over to America. This is the first time Sumit has heard this, and the fact that Jenny did this without his permission leaves him deeply offended.
I did contact an immigration lawyer the other day.
I'm upset to know the fact that Jenny is talking to a lawyer behind my back. Would I have married her if I know there's a thought of moving to US will gonna come? I don't know.
This leads to Sumit revealing his big secret. Having just been shocked by Jenny, he's now about to shock her. In the next 2 years, I'll be 35, he says. Maybe at that point, we should think about having kids.
We might adopt someone by 35. Then I want to have them in India.
What the
What the indeed. It seems like all of the secrets are slowly coming out one by one, and neither of them are happy with what they hear. When questioned about why this desire for kids has just come up, Sumit reveals that he's hoping a kid will help win back his parents.
Where did this come from?
Because if I have a kid, then maybe they will be happy, okay, now you have somebody to take care of you.
And that appears to be the final straw for Jenny. In fact, she's left questioning the future of their relationship.
Did we do the right thing getting married? Because if this is what Sumit wants his future to look like, then I don't really want to be part of it. Once again, Sumit will do anything to make his parents happy. It doesn't seem like anything has changed.
Where do these two go from here? It seems to me like they both want completely different things from life. Will their love be enough to keep them together? Or will Sumit's parents' prediction prove to be right?
After everything that we've been through, I mean, everything, I never thought that we wouldn't be on the same path.